The two police officers almost walked past him. Almost. The man sat alone on a cold metal bench outside a busy shopping plaza. His coat was worn thin, his beard untrimmed. Beside him, a small plastic bag. Everything he owned in the world. Hundreds of people walked past that bench that morning. Not one of them stopped. But Officer Daniels did. He slowed his steps, stared for a moment, then turned to his partner and said 3 words that changed everything. "Something's not right." They approached slowly. "Hey." Daniel's voice was flat. Official. "You can't sit here." The man looked up. No panic, no anger. Just a quiet, tired calm that somehow made Daniels more suspicious. "I'm just resting. We've had complaints. Loitering. I need to see some ID." The man paused, not nervously, but deliberately, like he was choosing his next words carefully. "I don't have it with me." That was enough. The officers exchanged a glance that said everything. Across the street, a woman noticed. Slowed down, reached for her phone. She wasn't the only one. "Stand up." The man rose slowly, no resistance, no aggression, but his calmness only seemed to irritate Daniels further. "You've been here all morning," the second officer said. "People are complaining you're bothering customers." The man glanced around. No one had spoken to him. No one had even looked at him. "I haven't asked anyone for anything," he said quietly. It didn't matter. "Turn around." The handcuffs came out. A woman in the growing crowd whispered to her friend, "This seems completely unnecessary." But nobody stepped in. Nobody said a word. Because that's how it usually goes. The questioning continued. "Where do you live?" "No permanent address." "What are you doing here?" "Resting." Each answer landed like a small frustration in Daniel's chest. "You think this is funny?" he finally snapped. The man looked at him evenly. "No, officer, I really don't." And then, a sound. Low, distant, growing. Heads began to turn. Because rolling slowly down the street, out of place in every possible way, was a long black limousine. It stopped directly at the curb. The crowd stared. Nobody moved. The back door opened. 2 men stepped out. Dark suits, polished shoes, faces like stone. They moved through the crowd with the quiet authority of people who don't need to announce themselves. They walked straight toward the officers. Daniel stepped forward. "Can I help you?" One of the men reached inside his jacket. The officers tensed. Then, a badge. Federal investigator. The street went silent in a way that a street almost never does. The investigator turned to the man on the bench and said loudly and clearly, "Sir, thank you for your cooperation." Officer Daniels went pale. "What?" Slowly, the homeless man reached inside his worn coat. The crowd held its breath. He pulled out a small device, a hidden camera. The red recording light was still blinking. "For the past 6 weeks," the second investigator said, "this man has been assisting a federal undercover investigation." "Into what?" Daniels whispered. The investigator looked at him directly. "How homeless individuals are treated by public authorities. Every interaction has been documented." He let that land, including this one. The limousine door closed. The officers stood on the pavement, badges, uniforms, authority, and said nothing, because there was nothing to say. Before the car pulled away, the investigator lowered his window one last time. "The way we treat people who can't fight back, that's not a small thing. That's a measure of who we are." The car disappeared around the corner, and the crowd remained standing there on that ordinary afternoon, on that ordinary street, realizing they had all just been part of the investigation too. Not as suspects, as witnesses to their own silence. Subscribe for more stories like this.